I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Smack-a-magob, it's time for the only news that matters. And drummer Phil Rudd was noticeably absent from AC/DC's Power Trip Festival appearance earlier this fall, but it appears as though he has designs on returning to the band for a further appearance that they might have. Drummer Matt Logg was named as a fill-in for the band's Power Trip performance, with the band announcing the switch but offering no future details ahead of the highly anticipated festival event. At the time, they offered a preview of the rehearsal that featured Matt and Cliff Williams coming out of retirement to take part of this show. But speaking in the new interview with the New Zealand Stuff, Phil Rudd offered hope for his eventual return to the group, stating, "I look forward to playing with them again in the future. Rock on." The magazine noted that there has been talks of a potential world tour in 2024, but no official announcement has been made as of yet. Meanwhile, the focus on the interview centered on a personal struggle that Rudd is currently facing as the musician is preparing to part with some of his AC/DC memorabilia in order to raise funds for his longtime friend Tony Wilson, who has been diagnosed with stage 4 terminal breast cancer. He said, "I'd give it all up, throw it in the bonfire, if it meant it would give Tony some time," stating Rudd. The article noted that Wilson has been given 6 months to live 6 months ago, and Rudd added that she's been told she'd be lucky to make it to Christmas. "She's the love of my life, my best friend. All the money in the world can buy you things, but it can't buy you time." So Rudd is selling off all his AC/DC gear and memorabilia and donating the money to the New Zealand Breast Cancer Foundation. Among the items going on the block will include one of his sports cars and drumsticks he used to play on "It's a Long Way to the Top If You Want to Rock and Roll" and "Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap." "We've always been close, and this has brought us closer." You know, him selling all his stuff, that's just Phil, said Wilson. Chief Executive of Breast Cancer Foundation New Zealand, Reiner, added, "It's real touching Phil Rudd has chosen to support us because of his personal connections to the awful disease. Phil's generous donations will help us do more on this work toward our ambitious vision of 0 deaths from breast cancer." What a unique way for AC/DC fans to make a difference to a good cause. As stated, Rudd does intend to return to rocking at some point, but at present he is focused on arranging details for the locations and state of his items to raise funds for New Zealand's Breast Cancer Foundation. That's awesome, man. I don't want to ruin this story at all with what Phil's done in the past, because if I bring that up, it'll ruin this story. I gotta say, this is amazing of him to do this, and I just think, my heart goes out to Tony Wilson, but Phil Rudd, man, that's a very classy thing to do, selling off all the stuff, and my favorite AC/DC drummer, man. Yeah, I should go into a rant about how much I love Phil Rudd. Yeah, I want to talk about the late 90s. The late 90s, I used to hang out with these dudes, All great guys, don't get me wrong. I'm not bad-mouthing them, but, you know, they were all death metal guys. I mean, they loved different types of metal as well, but death metal was their thing. And every time they would have to name Phil Rudd if they're talking about a bad drummer. Oh, that's Phil Rudd, you know, because, you know, there's no blast beats and all that stuff that, you know, they see as, you know, if you can't blast beat, you're not good. But, and I said this to them. I said, what? You're nuts, man. Phil Rudd, I don't care who you name. You get any drummer, Mike Portnoy, Phil, Sandoval from Morbid Angel. If they were to play the song Let There Be Rock like Phil Rudd plays that live, pounding it with precision for, I don't know, what is it, 8 minutes? Their arms would fall off. Yeah, Phil can't play like them either. I get it. But I'm saying, what Phil Rudd does sounds simple, but it's super hard, man. Now, what I didn't know for many, I mean, I just heard about this a couple of years ago. The first two AC/DC albums had a different drummer called Tony Carante. You know, I see Phil Rudd does do a lot of songs, but this Tony Carante shows up on the TNT album and the High Voltage album from Australia, which I own on compact disc. Well, I have TNT on vinyl, but not High Voltage. But anyway, that's a great drummer because he had me fooled. I thought it was Phil Rudd that whole time, man. But, you know, Phil Rudd, come on, that is the original drummer of AC/DC. You know, just his work, especially, man, that 70s stuff, man, with Bond. And, yeah, I love his drumming on For Those About to Rock and Back in Black as well. It's no different than what he did on those 70s albums. But, yeah, he's the perfect drummer. No slight to Simon Wright or that other guy, that was the bald dude that was in The Firm, Chris Slade. No offense to them. They did their job. They did it well, but they were no Phil Rudd. And I can't really judge the guy that played Powerfest because I wasn't there. And I'm not going to judge the guy who's drumming by a cell phone. Are you on crack? I hope he does rejoin AC/DC, and I hope they do a tour and they come down here because I love that band. I have never seen a bad AC/DC show in my life. And I hope Phil Rudd will be there when they come down. If he's not, I'll still be there because I show much respect to that band. How much they sweated out, including Brian Johnson and Geordie, whatever. But how they stuck to their guns. They never changed. It's a real band, man. AC/DC to me is as real as it gets. And I hope I get to see them at least one last time. And I'm glad I got to see them with Axl Rose. A lot of people complained about it, but I saw it this way. Number one, it kicked ass. Number two, there were road crews and people that needed to get paid on that tour when Brian had to stop. So, hey man, everybody's getting paid. I thought that was very important. And also the people that did not like Axl and AC/DC and didn't go, hey, that's beautiful you didn't go. Stuck to your word. Right on. And no, seriously, that's cool that you don't like Axl and AC/DC. I went and I loved it. So there you go. Anyway, that's it for the only news that matters. And what do you think? Ain't this cool what Phil did? I think it's awesome. And also, you know, like the video. And, you know, press that little notification bell. And because all that is good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath. Like Volume 4. And smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston, and so never more shall we see you again.